for Texas State Board of Education, and he's running on a tight schedule. So I want a moment to introduce him and let him address the issues of the Texas State Board of Education. Dr. Michael Soto, thank you.
Thanks, everybody. It's really an honor to be here among a group of folks who have already given so much of themselves and who continue to do so, and so it's really an honor to be able to address you. My name is Michael Soto. I am the Democratic Party nominee for the State Board of Education in District 3, which runs roughly from the San Antonio Airport in Bexar County down south to the Texas-Mexico border in Hidalgo County. There are 13 counties in the district. It's a big space, but it's been really a great time that I've had visiting with parents and teachers and others like you who care deeply about what goes on in Texas schools, and in so doing care deeply about the future of this state. Let me just tell you real quickly a bit about what I hope the State Board of Education can stand for. And I do have a lot of hope, because people throughout Texas are starting to see more and more clearly just how important these issues are and how devastating the current board has been in its handling of the public school system. The Texas State Board of Education has three primary responsibilities, as you know. It sets the curriculum standards that all public school kids are required to know and therefore that they're tested on. It approves textbooks for use by teachers and students in classrooms, and it oversees the management of the permanent school fund, which is an endowment worth roughly $22 or $23 billion that supports public schools primarily through the purchase of school books. Now, the hope that I have for the state board is that it approaches the adoption of curriculum standards based on some very simple criteria, that the standards are clear, that they're ambitious, and that they are flexible enough to give classroom teachers and school districts the opportunity to be innovative and inspiring in the classroom, to do things like bring kids into direct contact with their local histories, societies, and cultures in ways that well-trained teachers know best. I think that textbooks, when they're adopted, should be based on a broad scholarly consensus of classroom teachers and subject area experts, that they should rely on the latest available academic research, and that they should be the kinds of tools that teachers need to prepare kids for college and for their careers. And so when it comes down to every single last decision that I will make should I be elected in November, it comes down to a very, very simple question for me. What is this decision going to do to prepare that boy over there, my son, who's a second grader in the San Antonio ISD public schools, and his younger brother, my 6-month-old baby? What is this decision going to do to prepare these boys and their classmates and the 5 million other public school kids for their futures? If it does a good job getting them ready for college, preparing them for successful careers, then I think we ought not to have any sacred cows. We ought to follow that path. If it doesn't take us there, then we ought to be very, very suspicious, and we ought to tend to say, you know, look, let's hold off on this decision. Unfortunately, the current members of the state board have made a mockery of our public school system. They They have, as we've already heard, they've used every opportunity to inject their very narrow political ideology in places where they don't belong. They've managed to make math into a political issue, believe it or not. They've managed to make how young kids learn to read into a political issue. This is not just embarrassing to me as a Texan, but frustrating to me as a public school dad and as a college professor. I think that this kind of thinking has no place at all in in public school policy shaping. When it comes to textbook decisions, the current state board has gone out of its way to bend every single legal requirement that they are bound by to make politics rather than sound education policy the basis for their decision making. And so they've politicized things that have no place in the discussion in our public school system. And when it comes to the management of the public school system, and here, party labels mean nothing. Individual board members have really made a mockery of transparency and public integrity.